Great. So our next speaker is none other than Kelsey Warda. Kelsey is a senior in the College of Engineering from SoCal. As a young girl, Kelsey knew that she wanted to be an engineer. She loved to take apart her toys and electronics to learn how and why they worked the way that they did. Her love of technology evolved when she founded her high school's robotics team under the International First Robotics Organization, which then inspired her to study electrical engineering in college. This past summer, Kelsey worked at the ESPN headquarters. Kelsey's mind and heart share a passion for innovation and for changing the world, one idea at a time. Please help me welcome a student government senator, none other than Kelsey Warda.
If you have an apple, and I have an apple, and we exchange these apples, at the end of the day, you and I will still each just have one apple. But if you have an idea, and I have an idea, and we exchange our ideas, then you and I will each have two ideas. These words by George Bernard Shaw ring true, showing when it comes to sharing ideas and cultivating social action and innovation, 2 is better than 1. 3 is better than 2. I think you get the idea. I spent this past summer as an engineering intern at the ESPN headquarters in Bristol, Connecticut. I learned how to troubleshoot electronics. I learned how to operate robotic cameras. I learned not only how to make electronics equipment work, but why it works the way it does. While I cannot even begin to pen all that I learned over the course of my 10 weeks in Bristol, I can stress the importance, rather the need, for teamwork when it comes to problem solving. As an engineer, I understand math. I understand numbers. I even understand those crazy circuit diagrams, or 9 out of 10 of them. But what I learned most at ESPN was I can't solve every problem on my own. Let's be real. I am not Iron Man. The total number of TV monitors in just one building of the 12 and soon to be 13 building campus was in the tens of thousands. Each studio had its own control room, which had its own equipment room, which was filled to the brim of electronics galore. If you consider Best Buy to be tech-happy, ESPN is walking on sunshine. Going on a support call could take me into any one of the hundreds of rooms on campus. So did this mean I was expected to be a total expert at troubleshooting every single piece of equipment? Yes. Just kidding. No. Did it mean that I had to face those angry sound operators all on my own when their audio boards wouldn't work properly? No. But it did mean that I was immediately immersed into a team of engineers, problem solvers, and above all else, a welcoming family full of people with whom I could share my ideas. So sharing ideas may sound trivial, but it's the key to any and to all success. My coworkers who have been at ESPN since its early days took me under their wing in the first week of my internship. They asked what I was good at, what I was not so good at, and what I wanted to be even better at. And I had a hunch they would help me accomplish that last part. They were upfront about their own various strengths and their weaknesses. But what I noticed was that not a single one of them considered it a weakness to approach another colleague for help and for ideas. One of the comments most of my coworkers made during my last week at ESPN was how many people I addressed by name, how many people I would greet in the hallway each day to ask about their life, ask about how they were doing, ask if they wanted a cookie. It turns out they were pretty surprised that an engineer like me could channel Betty Crocker too. So whether they were fellow engineers, or news personalities, or big-time athletes, I called them by their name and I earn their respect by doing so. It makes you feel less like just another cog in the machine when somebody takes the time to get to know you. So I did my best to share this notion during my work there. And it paid off. I had lunch with John Skipper, the CEO of ESPN. He shared ideas with me. He was humble and surprisingly down to earth, and he asked all about my life at Boston University. Midway through my internship, I met with Chuck Pagano, the head of technology who started at ESPN before it even was ESPN, back in 1979. He shared ideas with me. He shared with me the importance of finding your passion, whether it's for technology, or music, or sports, or something totally different and unique only to you. Find your passion, follow it, never let it get away. Every day I wake up and I see my work badge hung up on my bulletin board, along with the miniature football helmet with the company's mission printed on it in firm black lettering. Just 6 words. To serve sports fans anywhere, anytime. This summer, I was a part of that. Granted, I was a very small part of that, and I was just an intern. But looking back, for being just an intern, I came home with an encyclopedia's worth of new knowledge and skills. I came home with an address book full of new friends and resources for every future point in my career. I came home knowing I am exactly where I want to be in terms of following my passion, a passion that I got to see grow even stronger over the course of 10 weeks. Okay, enough about me for a moment. Let's talk about you. How do you share your ideas? Do you turn to pen and paper, or I guess I should say iPad and tablet? Do you talk to those around you to try to gain their perspective? Do you talk to yourself to hear if what's running through your mind can actually lunge you forward into the world of tomorrow, the world of innovation? I do. I think aloud as I begin a new project to get everything that's running through my mind out into the open. And as long as I'm not sitting in a library, those around me tend to jump in with their own thoughts too. We form this whirlpool of creativity, seeing ideas leap from an individual brain into the sea of pure innovation really is believing. Believing in the beauty of a thought, a dream, a mission, a marvel that can change the world. And it all begins with 2 people sharing their ideas. The important thing when you answer questions on how you innovate, how you gather your ideas, is to know there is no right answer. There is no wrong answer. I remember being in elementary school, junior high, high school. There was always that right or wrong multiple choice question, homework submission, exam solution. Then college began and led me to my internship. And along the way, I started seeing the problem and thinking that there's only one right answer. Just look at life. There is no one right answer. There is no concrete mathematical formula. And sometimes, this really pushes my buttons. You know how much easier life would be if I could just calculate the future? For starters, I'd have a time-telling marble. I would know exactly what I would need to be doing at any given moment to get to exactly where I want to be. But then I set aside my irritations, and I realized the beauty in there being no single solution to solving life. Ever played the board game version? You can get whatever degree you desire with just one spin of the spinner. You can be whatever you want to be. You can have 0 children, 1 son, 1 daughter. You can have triplets, you name it. You can work your whole life. You can retire early. You can live in the same house in the same town. You can move to another country. Dr. Seuss phrased it best. Oh, the places you may go. Oh, the places I may go. The places I have gone, and the places I someday will be. All of these places are effects and consequences and rewards of the decisions that I make every day, taking me in new directions. Had I not begun my college education here at Boston University, would I be standing up here speaking today? Had I not stuck it out in engineering, would I have been accepted at ESPN? Had I not smiled at a new face whenever possible, said hello, exchanged names and ideas, would I have the friends I rely upon today, the faces who make this very place home to me right now? Wondering where life may lead you next can certainly be scary, but it can also be beautiful, or as we terriers like to call it, be-you-tiful. So where are you right now? Where do you want to be tomorrow? And how will you get there? I'll start you off with a word, or a few words, of advice. Talk. Listen. Speak your mind, but be open to changing it. Think. Believe in your ideas, and those of others, because sooner or later, an idea will take you soaring in an entirely new realm of possibility, where your imagination truly can take you anywhere. So you can keep your apple, and I'll keep mine. But when it comes to exchanging ideas, open up your mouth and speak. Open your ears and listen. Open your eyes and see. And open your mind. It's time to believe.